Tim Black. Tim Black. Tim Black. Yes, I am. True. Funny. Tim Black. I am TimBlack.com. Tim Black. Jazz hands. What up, people? How you doing? It's your man, Tim Black. Thank you for tuning into Tim Black at Night show. This is a special edition as always. It's always special when we do the Freedom Friday show because the Freedom Friday show, that's your show. What up, Wolfpack? How you doing, Wolfpack people? Yeah. We're in it. Man, let me see who's in the house, guys. Let me see if I can do a little shout-out roll call with the homies, with the people that's you, the people that keep this show going and keep it possible. I want to give a big super shout-out to my crew, man. Gosh, I got to use this dumb keyboard. Let me jump over here. You guys good? How was your week? Everybody had a good week, I hope. I got some callers in the queue already. I got some great people already lined up. They got some stuff to talk about. I love it, man. That's what this show's about. It's about you guys, man.
Look, man, I ain't falling for no banana in my tailpipe.
We ain't falling for the banana in the tailpipe. We're not falling for it. So, in the queue already, in my chat room. I got the best chat room, man. Give it up for my chat room, man. Give it up for those people, man. That's right, man. Got a fantastic chat room. Great people in it. That's because I got great moderators. Broken Copper, Nine Man Eyes. My man Momo Pineno on occasion. And all the other great people that frequent the chat room, such as Eric and Darren Alivi, Lisa Moika. Thursday Adams says, children of the cornbread.
Nobody take no cornbread from me.
We got Kat Stefani, Brom SL1, Lila Kate Buggins, Lily Kate, Nate Germ. Bruins for Cornbread sighting. I got a Bruins for Cornbread sighting in the house. Nobody take no cornbread from me. Jilly Love, Becca C, Thursday Adams once again. Kat Stefani. Uncle Ron is in the house, man. See, here on the Tim Black at Night show, man, we have a close relationship. I'm just one of you guys. I just got a mic and I can run my mouth a little bit, but make no mistake about it, man. Like, we are the same. I'm not above you. I never make comments like, oh, those little people, all the little people, and talk down to people. What is that, man? Like, if that's a level of success that everyone gets to, it seems so prevalent. You know, it's almost like it's a side effect or a byproduct of success. If that's the case, man, I don't want to be successful, man, because you should never be like, who are these people? I don't know. I don't understand that thing. Carmelina Foutois, maybe one day you can explain it to me. Written Economics, my girl Stevie in the house. Stevie in the house. Stevie edited a couple of clips for the TBTV channel, and they were important clips by Ava Kell Blas, and the very good stuff, guys. Check that out on the channel. Stevie, I appreciate you, sis. Written Economics, she's in the house. 64 Cadillac Coupe de Ville's in the house. My friend Justin's in the house. Good to have you, Justin. Deb Williams, Angel Tibbs, and the whole crew. Look, guys. OG Johnson. OG. I love OGs, man. I'm an OG. All right, so there's a lot happening, guys. As you all know, we've had a whirlwind week full of information. The FBI Comey situation, we looked at that. We had a lot of stuff, a lot of drama here on YouTube, a lot of drama. And it's not just YouTube. YouTube is just a platform. The issues that have been happening, these are independent media issues versus sort of like corporate media issues. And a lot of punching down, a lot of checks, a lot of haymakers from up above were launched, and they're still being launched and we got to fight back against it. I'm all for that. I'm all for fighting back. You know what I'm saying? I don't take it. I don't take lightly somebody smearing me. But yeah, man, we're gonna open up these phone lines. Look, I want to do this story, guys, if you don't mind. BSology in the house. George, where's George? Where's George? You got a shout out? Yeah, of course you got a shout out, Stevie. Much love to you. Tom Albrecht. John Hillner, what's up? What's the topic? Well, Freedom Friday, you the topic, right? You the topic on Freedom Friday. But I do have a story I want to rock. It's about Betsy DeVos, man. So I'll do that one. And this is like, and you guys, it's whatever. You don't have to talk about this when you call in, but I want to do this because we're going to use it in a separate clip. And I've been so swamped today, I didn't get a chance to cover this story on its own. And why is this not here? Why do I not have a picture of this lady? Damn. This is bad, guys. This is bad. This is bad. Betsy DeVos was booed at Bethune-Cookman graduation ceremony. And I want to cover this because some people are just not getting it. And it's my job to, to speak on these issues, man. I got to do it. So I'm going to do this. There we go. Betsy DeVos. I got a picture of Betsy DeVos I want to bring it to here. Here you go, guys. Betsy DeVos and all her money and glamour. Here we go. Booyah. Booyah. Okay. So let's do this. So many of you were not excited about the Secretary of Education, Betsy DeVos, appointment to the Trump campaign, and I don't blame you because I wasn't excited about it either. She was a prime example of what happens when you have money and you want a position. And yes, you can buy a position in American politics. So that's what happened with Betsy DeVos. I've been critical of her in the past. That will probably continue due to her choices and policies. Not because I don't like her personally. Of course I love super rich, the mega rich, the plutocrats. Of course I love them. What's there not to love? So Betsy DeVos was at a graduation ceremony at Bethune-Cookman, and she was booed. The school's president, Edison O. Jackson, had to pause the ceremony about 1 minute into Ms. DeVos's address to tell the crowd of students, "If this behavior continues, your degrees will be mailed to you." Why were people so upset with Betsy DeVos? Well, above the jeers, Ms. DeVos delivered the standard exhortation to graduates to live a life full of service with courage and grace in the spirit of their school's namesake. The typical boilerplate, everybody do well, good luck to you in the real world, have at it. Have at it. But the problem was this. There were critics of Ms. DeVos who pointed to missteps from the outset of her tenure. From her offices misspelling the name of W.E.B. Du Bois, or Du Bois, in an attempted attribute to a statement that she issued calling segregation-era historically black colleges and universities pioneers of school of choice. Okay? The gaffes, coupled with President Trump's seemingly wavering support of black higher education and a strained relationship with African Americans, made Ms. DeVos an especially prickly choice. Okay, so enough of that. Let me put this in a nutshell for all my people watching, because what I've been seeing is my brothers and sisters on the right, and look, it's not about labels, but I don't know what news sources they're watching. And maybe some folks on the left are covering, and I don't know what news sources you're watching if you're on the left. Here's the deal. Betsy DeVos brought a position, and she purchased that position with donations over a course of time to the Republican Party. That is why Betsy DeVos is in her position. This is not a good thing, nor should people defend her because of that. Her being a woman is beside the point. A man buying a position is a horrible thing if you're not totally qualified for the position. So unfavorable people who get positions, particularly those people who use money and power to obtain these positions who don't have the qualifications, are going to lead to a backlash. The students at that school had every right to boo Ms. DeVos. It is a freedom of expression. No cheers were thrown, no fires were set. You just don't like that they treated her mean. Now, why would they do this to this woman? Why would they heckle Ms. DeVos? Why would these people, on a very happy day, and happy day of graduation, you're reaching a milestone in your personal life, this is huge, right? Why would you be upset? So upset that you would let it end on a down note. Here's why. Why is because Betsy DeVos has pushed through implemented a change that will affect borrowers of money, removing caps on lenders to schools. This directly impacts these students. And not only does it impact these students, it impacts further students, future students. Betsy DeVos lifted the cap on how much lenders could charge students for repayments of loans. This is a direct conflict of what we need and the austerity situation that we have going on in America. Now, for all the people who have very high criticism of these students for booing Ms. DeVos, saying they're not behaving themselves, they are being disrespectful and rude, I want to ask you a question. If someone was hired who you did not approve of, who you did not think was qualified to do the position that was going to affect your life, and then that person, when they get in, one of their first acts is to make life more expensive for you. Please do not tell me, my friends out there in West Virginia, my friends in North Carolina, my friends, whether you be from the Bible Belt, or you from the Rust Belt, or you just wear a belt, how would you react to that? Would you boo? And if you did choose to boo, would that make you a deplorable? No, it wouldn't. I would say that you would probably boo. You may even do a lot more. I know some good old boys in Carolina who don't play around when you mess with their money. And then you come give them some sappy boilerplate speech about take care of it and be good and go forth. And no, it's unacceptable. So I support the students' right to boo and turn their backs. I'm glad that's all they did. We need to make noise when we have these plutocrats installed in our democracy who underhandedly and with no shame implement policies that will hurt us. This is the part they're not reporting on Fox News, and I don't have to watch Fox News to know they're not reporting it this way. They're making Ms. DeVos a victim when in fact she's creating victims. Ms. DeVos should have not been given that position. The only thing I can say in her defense is that she did not invite herself. She was invited to speak by, who are these people? Edison O. Jackson, the school president. So as much as you hate the player, you got to hate the game. But that does not nullify the students' ability to voice themselves vociferously and boo her ass. So I support it. I support it twice. I support it 6 days a week, twice on Sundays, and I will always support the people speaking up, because the more we speak up, the more they got to get up. I'm Tim Black for TBTV. Subscribe to this channel and let your voice be heard by calling into my Freedom Friday session where you have the microphone. All right, guys, give it up for that. Hope that makes sense, Momo Pineno. Hope that was decent. There you go. Some facts and some commentary. Not clickbait. It's not clickbait. It's not false, fake news. It's real news. Just because you don't care about it doesn't mean it's not real news. So, so that's done. So I got that done. What else do we have here, guys? Michael Trim. I want to shout out a couple of people, guys. This is going to be a loose show. I'm going to open up the phone lines quicker than I normally do because I want to give people an opportunity to talk because there's so much going on. People want to talk about it. I just want to shout out people like Michael Trim, the real Michael Trim. Michael Trim is a friend to this channel. He's been a friend of mine throughout the course of us covering from the primaries and more. So I just want to represent that. I also want to shout out Jamal Thomas, Zach Haller. These are strong voices who are undeniable. They don't hedge. They say how they feel. Bob TV. Robert is a great guy. He's passionate, and I admire his honesty. And there's so many others. Holly, who I want to get to know Holly because I understand Holly did a video in support of H.A. Goodman and Nico House and myself, and I just want you to know that I respect all of these great commentators. It's time for independent media to stand together, but see, we have to have criteria, and that criteria, I think, foremost has to be you can't be afraid to stand up. You can't be worried about backlash too much. You just gotta speak your mind. So these people have all spoke their mind. They've been very supportive of what I'm trying to do, and I admire them for that. I admire their candor and all that good stuff. And just like my viewers, they got my back, so I got their back. So let's know that, guys, because to all those haters out there,
bye, Felicia.
Bye, Felicia. That's all I got to say. That's all I got to say. All I got to say. I got other stuff here. I'm going to leave it. I'll do other videos. Let's get to the phone calls. The phone number is 319-527-6212. That is 319-527-6212. Yeah, 6212. We got it going on. You know, look, I'm just happy to still have a show. I didn't get destroyed. We went up against Goliath and we're still intact. In fact, we've grown a little, and I met great people like Hard Bastards. So look, man, once you know a guy named Hard Bastards got your back, you're doing all right. Because I'm definitely not politically correct. I'm definitely not cookie cutter. I'm definitely not establishment politics or status quo. None of that. So when you got a guy like Hard Bastard having your back, yeah, you're doing all right. You're doing all right. Shout out to Nico House. Let me go to the first phone call. Let's get it going, man. Why belabor the point? We got great callers, I'm sure. First call in the queue is from a 509 number. And let me see who that person is. Hello. Hey, you're tuned in to Freedom Friday. Who's this?
Hey, Tim, it's Broken Carpenter, man.
Broken Carpenter's in his house, man. Give it up for Broken Carpenter, man. Thank you, brother.
Hey, brother, you were perfectly right. I am a peaceful person. You know, the other night, you're right. I'm a peaceful person, and you're right. You couldn't say what I said, I totally agree with what you said. I was really glad that when Momo cut that, he left that in, because that was great, what you said, man. And you know that I DM'd you and, suggested you be the bigger man, all that, and I think part of it is I grew up in a little town, and little towns don't hold they're not good places for vendettas. You know what I mean? I always sort of tried to defuse situations, because once somebody was on your ass, you really had to beat them down to get rid of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but anyhow, man, I got to watching it more and more, after that started, the more and more angry I got till I called Tuesday night, and so I just, I've always hated the bully. That was the thing that always sort of drove me crazy. And I watched it go on, and no apology, no nothing, no retraction even. And and so I made that call, and you remember on the radio Paul Harvey.
Paul Harvey.
Dude used to do like a short little news thing. He'd always talk about, he'd have like a story, and he'd start up this story, and he'd be like, so the hippie walked past 37 times until Alma finally reached out with her shears and cut his hair off. And you know where she bought those shears? At True Value Hardware. He'd always go blend right into a commercial. But anyhow, he used to have this thing called The Rest of the Story. So the rest of the story is, I went to another bar on like a couple months later. Now, I'm sitting at the bar. Dude comes in, me and him sit there and get loaded. And the only thing he wanted to know was who was stabbing him with the pool stick. And I wouldn't dime out my phone. Well, part of it was he was like my best buddy, and I drove there with the bar with him, so I knew who it was, but I didn't dime him out, man. So, and so that's the rest of the story. You make peace some point, but you keep your eyes on behind you when you have to. But hey, Brady, one more thing I wanted to say to you. I'll repost it. When you were talking to Jared Beck, he talked about the Madigan case.
Yes.
And I read that thing, man. Oh, it's great reading if you want to like feel good about that lawsuit. Because I'll repost it on a thing on Twitter. But anyhow, hey Tim, I mean, I'm much happier now, sort of mellowed out, and trying to stay that way. So, I actually, man, I keep on meeting people because of my mouth. You know, I met some guy on Twitter, DMs me and says, "Are you from Yakima?" I says, "Yeah." He says, "Would I know you?" And I don't get out much, man, at all. I says, the only way you might know me is, remember, there was a legislative caucus, and there was one guy with a cane that went running across the room swearing and yelling at some party bigwig. And he says, "That was you." I said, "Yeah." Small world, but yeah, that was me. Hey, brother, you have a great evening. Have a really great weekend. I think you've been really kicking up your shows, man. I'm telling you.
Hey, man.
You're just getting better and better every day.
Hey, brother, I appreciate your support, Broken Carpenter, man. You're a guy with all heart, man. I love it, and that's what I do it for, brother. So thank you, man.
You bet. Well, that's why we support you, man.
Much love, man. Give it up for Broken
You have
Carpenter.
a great weekend.
You too, brother. You know, man, that's why we do what we do, man. Like, you know, that's it. To me, that is it, guys. We can't speak truthfully while we're speaking. I got a 562 number in the queue. How you doing, 562?
Hey, Tim.
Hey, how you doing?
Not too bad. It's Bram SLI1.
Bram, what's up, man? What's going on, Bram? Good to see you call in, man.
Not much, brother. Yeah, I've been wanting to get this off my chest. I've seen this all over YouTube, and it's killing me. People are citing for corruption, and I don't understand it. I don't get it. Shouldn't that be our line in the sand at this point? I see this guy Ro Khanna. I understand he's got a progressive platform, but if you find out the companies that are donating to him, this isn't what we want. Why would we want somebody who's funded by Morgan Stanley? Why would we want somebody who's funded by Sutter Hill Ventures? This is ridiculous. Why are we settling for this? And I'm glad he agreed to be on your show. I can't wait to see that and see how he's going to defend himself against this, because this is not what we should be tolerating at this point. If we're going to accept corruption at this late point in the game, then we're already done. Do you see what I'm saying?
I hear you, man.
Why would we be supporting that at this point?
Well, you know what, man? I talked to Ro briefly on Twitter, you know, DMs or whatever, and I can just tell you that the only thing I told him we're going to ask him tough questions, but I will give him the opportunity to answer those questions and to explain his platform more and explain his stances. So, like, he knows, because there's been so much Twitter activity, bro. It has been crazy, bro. Like, you know, you've seen the Twitter responses to his thread ever since Zach Haller.
It's been nuts.
Yeah, like ever since Zach Haller. Like, Zach Haller gives all the respect for putting this together. Thank you, Zach. And look, and so yeah, man, we're gonna ask the tough questions, man. You know.
And my point is this: let's say that he is not tainted by it at all and just continues to do the will of the people. The problem with that is it sets the precedent that you can have a candidate who takes corporate donations and can still be beholden to the people. And then everybody will think that that's acceptable when we know damn well that it isn't. Just because you have one that isn't does not mean that they're all going to be that way. We know that. I mean, look at Obama, look at Hillary, look at all the others. We already have the evidence.
I hear you, man. I hear you all the way. What can I tell you, man? Like, that's why I'm going to have a conversation. I don't want to scare him off with my, you know, I'll voice my, you know, my issues based on my, you know, research, which I haven't even completed yet, bro, because I'm going to really I'm bone up on this. Like we're gonna be having an
Well,
intelligent
one
conversation.
One site I recommend going to. It's called VoteSmart.org, and it's got. If you type in the candidate, it'll bring up who they're funded by, and you can see all of it. It's all right there. VoteSmart.org.
Well, look, man. Look, the conversation is going to continue. And look, and I understand exactly what you're saying, but I respect the fact that he's going to come on the show. Like,
I do too.
You feel what I'm saying?
I have respect for that, and I just want to hear him address this. I want to hear his side of it.
Well, look, man, I look forward to it, man. Thank you, Braun Marcel One, for calling in.
Okay.
Speaking truth to power, brother.
All right, thanks for all you do, brother. We appreciate it.
I appreciate you, man. Yeah. So I'm gonna take this down. Yeah, we're gonna see. We're gonna have this, we're gonna talk about it. We're not gonna shy away. We're gonna keep it real. 510, you're live. Tim Black Friday, Freedom Friday. How you doing?
Tim, Bruce from Oakland.
What's up, Bruce? Good to have you.
Calling in to let you know about that information I sent you last night
Okay.
on Twitter.
Okay.
The one you sent a question mark about. H.A. Goodman started me on that when he pointed out the WikiLeaks concerning Ro Khanna. So I started digging into Californians for Innovation, which is Ro Khanna's super PAC. Turns out they're pretty faithful donors, a guy named John Arnold. Well, I did some searching on Mr. John Arnold. Turns out he worked for a corporation named Enron. We all know Enron was responsible for bankrupting California single-handedly. Turns out that he received an $8 million bonus from Enron for doing that to us. Then he opened up his own philanthropy firm with his wife. And he now works with a man. Well, he actually works with a pair of men named Koch brothers. Remember them? Yeah. Turns out that Mr. Arnold works with Koch brothers on their pension reform and their criminal justice reform. How good for that is America.
Talk to me, man. So what are you saying? So this Arnold...
There's always a link to somebody.
Okay.
Here we get a super PAC that forms just for Ro Khanna, and we have all these big backers from nothing but corruption. We've got a man from Enron working with the two people who want to own the country.
Yep. Big money. Cash was everything around me. And,
yes, sir.
And this is a question, like I said, it's something we're going to ask Ro Khanna.
And Ro sat there that night, and he sat there trying to, convince me what a progressive he was. Yes, his ideas are progressive, but we all see how progressives end up. After a couple of years, they end up bowing down to their masters because them funds get cut off.
There you go. Hey, look, man. Bruce, I appreciate the information. I did read over some of it, but yeah, man, we're going to ask the tough questions, and we're going to have a conversation as a community, what we're about, what we'll take, what we'll stand for, and what we won't. We got to come to these conclusions. You feel me?
Definitely hit him up on his lead donor, Mr. Arnold.
I tell you, man. Well, look, man.
Thank you. He knows his background.
Yeah. I appreciate you, man. Give it up for Bruce, man. Doing some fact finding, getting some information out there. Like that's what we do. I support it 100%, brother. I'm gonna look into it. 314, you're live with Tim Black Freedom Friday. Who's this?
Hello.
Hey, what's up, Don Bay?
Hello.
Hey, what's up, Don Bay?
What's up, Tim?
I'm good, man.
Not much, man. Just it's Friday, I thought I'd call in and I'm glad, man, you gave a shout out to Bob TV, the other guy and the little chick from Zolan Politicon, man.
Yeah, hold on. Zolan let me get that right. How you say that?
Zolan Politicon.
Politicon.
It's Zoon, Zoon, Politicon.
That's a Z-O.
And her name is like Holly something. It starts with like an S or something maybe.
Yeah. Okay.
But they all made videos supporting you and HA, man.
That's it, man.
The movement is bigger than what people think, and I think TYT just found that out. That it ain't gonna be that easy for these corporate Democrats to do this stuff no more.
Right.
It's enough of us to affect them. And I think TYT just found that out. So, but I'm glad you shouted them out, man, because they came right to y'all defense too. I seen the little videos they made, and it's all good because they be talking the same stuff, you know. And it's people out there that got y'all back, man, because y'all doing the right thing.
It's amazing.
You know, and this is what we got to do. We got to call these fools out. We got to shame them, and we got to do everything because, you know, it's insiders. It's people on the inside that's working against us. And when we find them, we got to smash them, period. That's the only way we're going to win. And that's just how I see it. I don't see it no other way. But it's people out there that got your back. That this corporate lesser to evil stuff is done. And state of resistance, not that corporate media BS. But I think TYT felt the resistance. So we good, Tim. Appreciate what you do for us, brother, man. Keep speaking the truth.
Hey, man, you got it, man. Give it up for Dog Bay, man. No doubt, man. I agree with you, brother. They felt it. I don't know why they thought we was going to be some type of easy win. I guess they just, like you say, they underestimated that we're connected to the community in a way that they're just not. Like if you have people who engage with people daily for a year, 2 years, 3 years, and you come in, you've been on the scene a year, you got big backing, you do some good stuff. I feel you. But you're going to have to, like, my thing always was, and I'm not going to belabor the point. I don't want to go on too long. I'm just going to say this. Dude, if you got an accusation about me, at least have an example. I don't understand anybody agreeing with someone making a blanket statement without an example. When I criticized TYT, I was talking about the New York primaries where they abandoned Bernie Sanders during the middle of the primaries and went behind Hillary. That was a specific allegation about a specific act. I didn't just say they're sellouts. No, I'm talking about a specific act that drew me to a specific conclusion based on your actions and the way I process that. This guy goes out and makes a bunch of allegations over 30-something minutes with no specifics at all, and still some people, not a lot of people, not my people, but a lot of people supported it. I'm like, where is this from? How is this journalistic? There's not a specific instance listed at all in his original video. But some people thought it was okay. I'm like, wow, that's what we doing? That's how we do? When I criticize Rachel Maddow, it's for specific things she does, like that fake clickbait, freaking disclosure of tax forms. That was specific thing. I don't just hit. I just criticized Bill Maher. I criticized Bill Maher for a panel he just did on a show very specifically where he roasted the left or any progressives or called people purists and blamed them for Donald Trump's nomination or win. I specifically hit him on that issue. Once again, look, I'm gonna get off it. I said I wasn't gonna go on long and on. But look, man, if you have a gripe with me or anyone, be specific about your gripe and voice it, and maybe it'll be something we can talk about. But be specific. You don't get to take a brush and be like, this person's this way, and not provide any detail and put that into the ether or into our community. If he was anyone else, I think he'd be destroyed. The only reason why he still has a channel and a following after doing that, which is so egregious, is because some people just look at him. Some people think he's cute. Some ladies think he's cute. And some people admire the work that he did. And they're willing to overlook what I just pointed out, because those are facts I just pointed out. So I'm going to go to the next one. 209. You're live on Freedom Friday. Who's this?
This Tim Black?
Yeah, who's this?
I'm just a fan. I'm calling from Stockton, California.
All right, well, just a
I
fan.
was saying, you can call me just the Black Eye Trump guy, but I'm a big, huge fan of you, H.A. Goodman, and Debbie LeSigmund.
Wow,
I
brother.
was calling to say that you speak truth to power. I've seen your videos you did earlier today on Bernie Sanders, and I know it must have been hard. But you were speaking truth to power. I'm one of them people that was on a Democratic plantation, and then this election cycle got off when I seen the corruption, and I voted for Donald Trump. But what I've seen as like TYT and some of these Democrats are doing is when they get people like you and H.A. Goodman and the Nico guy, I don't watch him too much. When y'all speak the truth and they realize, wait a minute, y'all are real progressives. They more like armchair progressives. You know what I'm saying? They just in it for the money. So they try to attack you. I've never wanted to call you, but after I seen you today and you and H.A. Goodman taking on the Young Turks, I just said, you know what, brother, I got to call you and tell you it ain't just us for progressives that watch this show. It's people like me. I'm a deplorable. I watch this show. I love it. You tell the truth, and that's what I try to do with people I talk to. Let us know we all have a middle ground. We all know that the Republicans, the Democrats, they're all corrupt, and that they're all trying to, like me, I'm on the deplorable side. We got the Republicans trying to suppress us or fit us in. We're all just people tired of this system. So I feel that maybe deplorables and progressives, real progressives like you, Tim Black, and H.A. Goodman and W. LeSigmund, if we could get into a dialogue without violence or yelling and stuff like that, where the real people, the people that's about the country, where we can meet in the middle, we could start a real people's party, because we are the masses that are disgruntled. I'm one of them. I voted for Barack Obama twice. Not Hillary, but Bill Clinton once, Al Gore. I was a Democrat my whole life. First time I voted Republican was for Donald Trump. Not because of I'm a racist. I'm a black dude from Richmond, California, living in Stockton, grew up in the hood. But because he was talking about the economic problems and the stuff that I felt was important to me. Not the identity politics or who's getting stuck here and there and there. I feel everybody's an American. We can all help each other. So I just wanted to say, you do great work. I'm a big fan. It's a lot of us deplorables, in our circles. We watch you. We support H.A. Goodman. We made videos. We're not YouTubers or nothing like that. Even I made a video for you against the Young Turks, but I don't even like to talk, as you can tell. And I just wanted to say I've been watching you for over a year now. And everything you say, you back it up, and you're what I would consider a real progressive. If the movement was like you and the way you see it, where we can talk, where we can dialogue, where you have like you want to reform the police. I'm with reform the police. Where we want to have, like me, I'm not against illegal immigrants. I just believe everybody should get documented. I don't want everybody kicked out. But I'm also looked at the Hillary Clinton and the WikiLeaks and the part that bothered me, because my wife was a Bernie supporter, was the fact that Bernie caved. I actually sent you in your YouTube inbox, and I asked your permission where you had made that video. I actually used it. No, I didn't monetize it, not to make the money. And said what I felt that you couldn't say because you're so nice. Because, you're so nice and balanced. Because to me, I felt that, and I could be wrong, that Bernie was controlling opposition for that growing progressive feeling. And that it took so big, it blew so big out of proportion. And it was beautiful to watch. And then right when it came time, and I watched the DNC, I actually made a video, and I was on the Trump team side of it, telling people to get out of Philly. Well, you were in Philly, telling them, hey, you're in a blackout bubble. They're not letting none of your videos get out. So us deplorables were making videos saying, hey, they're doing you wrong. So, but for Bernie to get up there and give the delegates away and not fight for the people and not acknowledge the DNC lawsuit and not handle, and all these people, my wife came home defeated. And I'm sitting there going, he's a traitor, he's a sellout. And I watch people like you, Debbie first, because she really, really went into the voter fraud part of it on her series. Have people in their comment strain or hitting them up, defending Bernie and getting on you. And the only way I feel that this people's movement, because I feel I'm a part of it, even though I'm on the deplorable side, because I want this government corruption and money out of politics, is for us to realize on every side we need to clean our own backyard. Bernie's not the savior of the movement. Like y'all, the guy you said you're going to have come on and the Justice Democrats promoting people, I feel, me personally, Tim, you should run. It should be a regular person like me and you that gets a grassroots following and run and take these positions in the government. Anything else is going to be corrupted. And we're seeing it on both sides. You look at me, I'm a deplorable. I got Jared Kushner and all these policies that McMaster and all this stuff. I didn't want them bombing Syria. I didn't vote for Donald Trump for that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it happens on both sides of the spectrum. So what I'm seeing is the way that they divide us is by keeping us at each other's throats. Oh, you can't talk to him. I am the total antithesis of what you don't think a Donald Trump supporter is. I'm a black guy from the hood. How I'm talking to you right now on my weed, but I'm a Donald Trump supporter. You get what I'm saying? I'm not no redneck. I got Mexican partners. You know what I'm saying? I'm good at this, but they make us stereotype to where we can't even talk to each other.
Right.
And you go to Berkeley, like down the way in Berkeley, and these people fighting each other and not realizing that this stereotypes on both sides is what's keeping us apart from coming together and seeing what can we meet in the middle on. And once we get to that point, we'll have a movement that'll be bigger than the Democrats and the Republicans. And it'll truly be a people's movement. But I ain't going to take up all your time. It was just a pleasure to even talk to you, brother, because you speak truth to power, man. I really enjoy your work. I keep watching. I keep subscribing. I donate when I can. I love you, Tim.
I love you back, brother, man. This is why I do it, man. Brother, you don't know how much I need to hear that, man. I need to hear that big time. Big time. Only thing I want to say, man, that I gotta say this, and it's not a negative. It's just more. Let me explain something, man. I don't know what you don't have to call me progressive, man. And I think I speak for HA and for Debbie. It's not what we don't even want names. If I could get through this whole thing, friend, without being called progressive or deplorable or Bernie bro or none of that, right? Because it's just truth. You know, I hate that I have to have a label. I hate it, man. So, and I know like people need shorthand for like what you think or what you believe, but look, I'm open. You just testify. I'm open to all people, all colors, all orientations, all thoughts, all politics. We want solutions, man. So that's it. And I don't want to ever turn anyone off, ever. Now, you know how I feel, but when they see that name progressive, they start thinking, okay, this guy's this way. And they assign all those stereotypes that you just said. And I push back against that, man, because we're so much not about that. You know, if you want to change, like if you agree on certain things, like, you know, whatever we agree on together, we can fight for it together. We don't have to agree on everything for us to stand for something. Right? So, man, thank you so much for that call. It's so damn important. I'm trying to tell you, it's everything. It's everything. All right, I'm going to go on, man. Amazing people. Did I lose a 510 number? Let me go find this one. 510, you're live with Tim Black Freedom Friday. Hey, how you doing?
Hello?
Oh, my bad.
Okay.
Yeah, my bad, man.
Hello?
My bad. My bad, brother. My bad. I got a couple of the same. Some folks have the same first three numbers. And I got excited, man. You pumped me up, man. So y'all gonna have to bear with me, man. You know, because
let me just say I am reserving judgment until all the facts come out.
Here we go, man. I got an 813 number in the house, man. 813, you're live on Freedom Friday. Who's this?
Hey, Tim, it's Jeremy. How you doing?
I'm good, man. Good to have you.
I want to comment on something the last guy said about Bernie selling out or being controlled opposition first. That guy, I agree with almost everything he said. But as far as Bernie goes, I'm fairly confident that Bernie is being threatened or blackmailed, or someone important to him is being threatened or blackmailed. And that's why he won't, do certain things. But besides that, I wanted to talk about Pizzagate. I saw you mention it earlier on your Twitter and on the Michael Trim, and I remember a while back you were asking people for info on it when it was, first breaking. And I don't know if you ever talked to anyone about it, but I know a ton about Pizzagate because I've spent literally hundreds of hours researching Pizzagate. And a lot of people out there listening, they might be rolling their eyes, but I can guarantee you that Pizzagate is a real scandal and the media is lying about it. They're lying about what it is, first of all. They're saying Pizzagate is a conspiracy made by Trump supporters that's accusing Hillary Clinton and John Podesta of running a sex ring out of the basement of Comet Ping Pong. Like, it's complete BS. That's not what Pizzagate is. It's a straw man argument that they debunked, which isn't really debunking anything. I encourage everyone to read John Podesta's emails. I assume you've read his emails. Is that right, Tim?
Most of them, yes.
Yeah, so some of these emails defy an explanation. Like, do you think I do better playing dominoes on cheese instead of pasta? Pizza-related handkerchiefs, kids in a pool for entertainment, all kinds of disgusting stuff. And then you look at the kind of artwork that guy's into, John Podesta and Tony Podesta. The artwork that they like is just abused children. It's disgusting. Go ahead and look it up. But I suggest vote.co, the Pizzagate subverse. That's a good subverse. And not Reddit, because they banned Pizzagate on Reddit. You can talk about any conspiracy you want on Reddit. Sandy Hook, 9/11, anything, but not Pizzagate. This one has them scared. And other than that, do you have any questions on Pizzagate that maybe I can answer, anything like that? Or is there anything you're not sure of?
Wow, brother. Only question I could ask is, what for Pizzagate is like a smoking gun for you? What is the thing that a person who may be, cautious or not convinced in it, what would be the one piece of evidence that you could say, this is the thing that could sway that person? Give me that for my viewers.
Okay. I would argue for Pizzagate specifically, there isn't a one smoking gun, but there's so many little things, and not even little things. There's so many things that it's undeniable. So between the several emails, there's at least like 5 or so emails from John Podesta that are highly suspicious using pedophile code language. Then you have Comet Ping Pong, James Alefantis, who's associated with John Podesta. They email each other a lot. His Instagram pictures were frankly disgusting, and the comments on them were disgusting for a family pizza place. Like chicken lover, hashtag chicken lover in one of those photos with the baby. That's a code word for, boy lover, like chicken is like little boy. But then he has these bands that come and play at Comet Ping Pong, a family restaurant. These bands have, in their videos, it's literally the pedophile logo. According to the FBI, records, they have the pedophile logo. The pizza place next door had the pedophile logo. Politics and Prose across the street has the Skull and Bones symbol right on the sidewalk. Skull and Bones is a secret society that John Kerry and George Bush belong to, and among others.
Don't tase me, bro. Don't
Laura
tase me, bro. Right.
Sorry, go ahead.
I just said don't tase me, bro, but go ahead.
Yeah. You remember that guy who asked John Kerry about Skull and Bones. He got tased. You can look that up on YouTube, guys. But okay, Laura Silsby is one of the smoking guns. So Laura Silsby was caught trafficking 30-something kids from Haiti across the Dominican Republic. She went to jail in Haiti along with a bunch of missionaries. I don't think the missionaries had anything to do with it. I think Laura Silsby was the person who was doing it. So Laura Silsby had email correspondence with Clinton's staff before about the plan to get like 100 children or so. The children, they got it from an orphanage that's connected with James Alefantis, the McCobies, Bill Clinton, and after they were caught, the Clintons got Laura Silsby out of Haitian prison.
Right.
And she now changed her name to Laura Gaylor, and she works for AlertSense, which supplies the technology for Amber Alerts for missing kids. And this is just a fact. You can look it up.
Wow.
Laura Silsby was represented in court in Haiti, not by a lawyer, but by another human trafficker. His name was, let's see. I can't remember the guy's name right now.
It's okay, man. It's okay. Look. I appreciate you calling in tonight on this topic, and like I said, it's Freedom Friday, and anyone can call in on any topic, brother. It's not over. Michael Trimmer saying we're going to dig down deeper. Hey, look, man, I appreciate your phone call, brother. I got to let it go and move on.
One more thing.
30 seconds.
You want to expose Jordan from the Young Turks? Make him comment on Pizzagate. They'll never let him comment on that because I've asked him about it and he always ignores me. So just tweet at him, talk about Pizzagate, or be a shill. It's a shill test. Shill test him.
Brother, I appreciate you, man, but we both know he'll never cover something like that. Come on, man. But I will say this, that I think he's already been exposed to those who are open to that exposure. Like some people may have, I don't think if you're not convinced after actually knowing what happened in this whole thing, and all you see is the guys punching back at him, and you blame those guys, I don't think some people's minds can't be changed. So I'm not going to worry about it. I know I'm in the right. I know I'm not, I know I have nothing to hide. So, hey, we'll just keep it going, man. But thank you for your call, my friend. I appreciate you. Open door, man. We got an open door here. 408. You're live. Tim Black on Freedom Friday. How you doing?
Hey, Tim. Hey, this is Mike from the Green Party in Santa Clara County in California.
Mike from the Green Party. I love it, man. What's up, Mike? What's on your mind?
Hey, how you doing? Hey, I wanted to. I know that you're a national show, but I wanted to tell people about something coming up here in California. It's for universal health care, and it's State Bill 562. It's a lobby day and rally, and Nina Turner is going to be there at the Capitol in Sacramento on Friday, May 17th, from 1 p.m. to 7 p.m. I want to talk about that and basically tell people that these universal health care and the kinds of things that help the working class, these things are called entitlements by the conservative side.
Right.
But working class people who work 40 hours a week should have health care. You know what I mean? We're having a hard time getting a $15 minimum wage, much less like care when we have a sore tooth. Nobody working 40 hours a week should not have health care. So I'm hoping that we can get this done in California. Like I said, we're trying to get. I think it's actually on the agenda to be voted on. So I think that's what's happening on the 19th. And I think if California can get it started, maybe we could go state by state and potentially, finally get it passed nationally. if you ever notice with, I don't mean to cut down a party, but Democrats always pretend to be progressive. But whenever you ask them about universal health care, their reply is almost always, "Oh, I believe in increasing access to health care," and that's just a way to divert the conversation from saying that they don't support universal health care. True progressives know that the working class should have it. And like I said, I'm hoping that people here in California show up to Sacramento to rally for it and petition for it, and we can get it passed and get it going maybe all over the country, like I said. And hey, by the way, Tim, yesterday I became a Patreon member, so I believe in what you're doing. I think that you're doing really great things for media, because you are independent and not purchased by corporations who just do not reflect or do not report accurately what's going on and issues that are important to the people. So I truly appreciate that. That's all I want to say. Thanks a lot, Tim. I love the fact that you have a call-in show, too.
Yeah. Hey, look, man, I love the fact that you called in, man. Give it up for my friend, man. This is Mike from the Green Party out there in California, man. Thank you, brother. A great event, it sounds like. I'm a big supporter of Nina Turner. In fact, I'm such a big supporter of Nina Turner. I'm having a video. I'm taking a little time to put it together about Nina Turner that I think is going to be very important. It's going to wake some people up regarding the Democratic Party and their treatment of Nina Turner. We need to talk about this, so I'm going to be doing that. But thank you, my brother, for that. I appreciate you becoming a Patreon. Anybody interested in becoming a Patreon, please do so. Look, man, I know times are tough. I get it all the way. This is not me twisting your arm or like trying to extract I don't know, man. I'm not going to hold my videos hostage, though I will give my Patreon certain videos on the fly to certain intimate conversations about stuff that's happening, but for the most part, all my stuff is free. And I love you guys. So thank you. If you can support the channel, please do so. If you can't, don't worry. I'm not going to stop doing what I do because we got a big community now. And once upon a time, I had a real small community and it was really tough, but we got more people. So we help each other out. So thank you once again. I'm going to move on to the next call. I have an 814 number in the house. Hey, 814.
Hey, Tim, what's going on?
Hey, how you doing?
Good. This is Terry from North Central Pennsylvania. How are you tonight?
Terry from PA. I'm good, Terry. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing just fine. I wanted to just I guess shout out a little bit tonight about I know that there are a lot of people who are going to town hall meetings, which is wonderful. And in the news today, I saw something to the effect that Donald Trump doesn't think that we need, daily press briefings, and everybody's all up in arms about that, and I just kind of laughed. But have you ever noticed that the White House press corps and the mainstream media, they never, ever ask a follow-up question, ever. They never challenge a politician by saying, well, why do you think we need this? Or my favorite would be, how do you hope to achieve this? And even if somebody does try to ask a question, then you get the old two-step runaround, But I think that with the number of people, really the record number of people now who are really becoming directly involved in our government, I think it would be great to see these questions asked, of our local politicians as well as of national politicians, Just get right up there and say, well, how do you plan to do this? And then when they start their bullshit, just say, well, yeah, okay, but now how exactly are you going to do this? and just wait and see what they have to say.
Interesting. Cross-check them.
Yeah, check them. Like hockey, man, check them. Into the boards. And I wanted a quick comment about, I saw your video earlier about Bill Maher. And, I don't know how many people know this, but, we know who Bill Maher is. We know who he works for. He bragged and bragged and bragged about the fact that he gave $1 million to President Obama's re-election campaign. And then he just did nothing but just whine and moan and carry on. Oh, I want President Obama to come on my show. And I mean, it was kind of pathetic, but he's been in the bag for, the establishment for
20, 30
I
years.
think, I think since he got fired from his previous show, which was on, I think, ABC.
Right. Yeah, Terry, go ahead.
Yeah, okay. Thought I lost you there for a minute, but yeah, I think he's been in the tank ever since then. So, and my dogs think so too. I'll tell you what, I'm gonna let you go and let somebody else take over. Okay. But enjoy talking to you as always.
Always. I
want to shout out to Momo and the Broken Carpenter because I was just twittering with them a while ago. So hello, boys. And you just keep on keeping on, baby.
Hey, thank you, Terry, for the love. I appreciate you. And
all right, talk to you again.
Yeah, we gotta have follow-up questions. Terry's right, man. You ask questions, do some follow-up questions. Because I know how hard it is to interview these politicians. I've interviewed a few politicians, so they get to run. They already had this canned like 40 seconds. You got to jump in. You got to jump in like double dutch, right? You jump in and you're like, oh, I appreciate it, But this thing you said, what's this thing? Explain this thing. And then they'll probably have another 30 seconds, And then you say something off the wall like, macaroni and cheese tastes good when it don't have cheese in it. And they'll be like, what? I don't understand. And then you broke their concentration. You took them off script. And now you can ask a question. So you got to have ways. You got to have a strategy. I really like when Lou Ferrigno was in Frozen. Huh? He was in Frozen? No, he wasn't. Now let me ask you a question. Now I broke that train of thought because they had this stuff already. They got it already. Got to break their chain of thought to get them to go off script. And that's where the gold is. All right. Terry. 205. You're live with Tim Black on Freedom Friday. Who's this?
Hey, it's Steph from Tennessee.
Hey, Steph, how you doing?
I'm doing okay, sort of. I had made another follow-up video for the one I made before, defending you and HA before.
Stephanie.
And for like the last 3 days, it won't upload to YouTube, so I'm a little bit upset about that.
Oh, man.
But I just figured I'd call in here instead and say basically what I was going to say before the news gets too old on that. And so that it sounds like most of everything's already been diffused or proven how Jordan was being kind of hypocritical. But I came across some information that I put in the video that I really wanted people to know who were, saying that you and HA were being petty for defending yourselves. But it really is important because it like Jordan makes it seem like that you guys aren't as professional as TYT, even though, like really with this information that I had, it shows that Jordan may not do some of the things HA does, but like everything that HA does, Cenk does too. And I had like gone over that, so I want to go over that real quick. There's somebody who was trying to post me, convincing me that like HA was a huckster or whatever, snake oil salesman, whatever you want to call it. And by saying that he focused too much on the Hillary Clinton indictment, and he seemed, like he was just doing that over and over again to get Bernie people to pay attention to that. But Cenk it's interesting, the whole thing about Comey happening, because I know it's a distraction from the issues and stuff, but it's kind of really good timing that happened right after they got in this fight as a way to prove that like TYT does the exact same thing that HA does in reverse, because Cenk has made how many videos about Trump getting indicted or impeached because of ties to Russia or shady business ties, because he's basically doing the same thing as HA in reverse, and they're both working off their evidence, and they're both coming to those conclusions based on possibly a little bit of bias, but mostly the research they've done. And either, they could both be right, they could both end up being right now because of Comey getting fired. It is sort of suspicious. It's like, what is Trump hiding? Did he just fire Comey? Because people say, well, Comey was just doing a bad job. It got to be too much. But his reasons for firing over the Clinton case, after the entire campaign he was saying lock her up, that only intensifies my suspicion that Trump was in as a Pied Piper with Clinton, and he doesn't want people finding that out because it will ruin him and it will ruin Clinton. And that they keep trying to, bring Clinton back up as this poor victim when we all know there was some really shady stuff going on with her, and the Russia thing was a distraction. And I heard there's even a book out about that. But the other thing is that they're talking about HA. Someone had linked this thing called Rational Wiki saying HA was just writing for the HuffPost for clicks. But if you look at the Young Turks Rational Wiki, if you Google it, there's something a little damning in there for Cenk. And this isn't to try to make TYT look bad or drag this out and fan the flames or whatever, but it just shows that it's really Jordan should just kind of look at his own garden kind of thing before, telling everyone else that your garden sucks, because they've got in here that says that Wolfpack, the political action committee they have, is a grift. With the Open Secrets record, it's 58% of their funding goes to salary, then another 20% goes to overhead, and very little goes where they say it actually goes. So they are not perfect either. And anybody who says HA is a huckster but TYT is not, they don't know what they're talking about. And also what you'd said earlier about girls thinking Jordan's cute, I don't think he's that cute. I think him and John Isle, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, John Isle, they look more alike than you and Nico look alike. I always get them mixed up, so nobody judge me if they're going to get you two mixed up. They can't get mad at me for them both being dirty blonde, average looking guys with no fashion sense. But yeah, that's it. And there's something else important I wanted to say, but I can't remember it now because Tim, I can't remember it. But I hopefully if you, I know what I wanted to say. I was going to ask the community if anybody is good with tech stuff that could help me with video stuff. I could trade services, possibly do some artwork, or possibly pay someone who needs a gig. I need tech help because I'm trying to put a sound booth together and I'm trying to start doing videos, and I am just having a lot of trouble with the tech side of things. So that's it.
Gotcha. Well, look, guys, let it be known that if you want to trade something with Stephanie, as far as you help her with tech, she help you with artwork. She's a great artist. I know because she sent me some stuff that's fantastic. So look her up. And I also, first of all, give it up for Stephanie. Thank you, Stephanie. And you can find Stephanie, Carmen Steffiago. But she's in the chat room, guys. She's right here in the chat room. And she's on Twitter. That's kind of big what you just said. I didn't know. Wolfpack, 58% of their proceeds go to, all the money they raise goes to salaries. You don't think that's high? I think that's pretty fucking high. I think it's unconscionably high. I'm sure there's other organizations where it's probably similar, but that's pretty high. Pretty high. If you had the money's for a specific thing. No wonder why John Iadarola said donations were donations. Kind of makes sense now, doesn't it? They can put that together. It's makes sense. So, that's 58 cents of every dollar, guys. It's a lot. Go fight corruption. Okay, hold on. I got 42 cents left to do it. Here's $1. Go fight corruption. Okay, 58 for me. We got 42 cents left. Let's see what we can do with that. I'm just saying. All right. Yeah, I'm wrong. It's but whatever. I don't think I'm wrong. I'll let you think about it. Everybody make your own opinions. Come up to your own conclusions. 410, you're live with Tim Black, Freedom Friday. You're live on the air. How you doing?
I'm doing fine, Tim. This is Uncle Ron calling.
Uncle Ron is in the house, my brother. How's the family, Uncle Ron?
Oh, family's doing fine. Thank you so much for asking. I guess the impetus for my call tonight is part of the Wolfpack family. I could feel a little, I don't know, tinge of, I don't know what to exactly call it, but it was when Marvin called in night before last, I think it was, and he was talking about his time in the service and how he felt somewhat conflicted. And then you find out other people in the chat room who are also veterans, and I want every one of us to know we're okay, because if you're having some type of conflict with the fact that yes, we served our countries and we were well intentioned when we did it, and now we can see the truth. Well, we may not have ever seen the truth if we had not served. I would not go back into service at this particular point if I knew back then, 25 years ago, 30 years ago, what I know now, I wouldn't have followed my father's footsteps. And he has suffered from Vietnam, and he came a long way. And whether a soldier was in a conflict, a war, because no war has been declared since I don't know when, so they're all considered conflicts. But all the soldiers suffer who go to war. And I'm fortunate that I didn't. I've seen people get killed on training exercises, and you just keep moving on. Right. And that's not necessarily an easy thing. But I'm so glad that I know that what I did while I was in the service as an officer was the right thing. And that was to take care of my soldiers and tell them to get the hell out, because something just didn't add up. And for the millions of soldiers who are suffering ever since the Vietnam era time, we have all been duped. And it's a shame. It's a shame, because we all have gone in there, in the service, pretty much for similar reasons, meaning we love our country. And the cell job and the history of our individual families, where there's a long line of military service, so on and so on, is there for so many of us. And it's a shame that truly we have been taken advantage of. And at some point, I know when Michael A. Wood was a guest earlier last year,
right,
and what they did at Standing Rock was, I think, was a little bit too little, too late. I think that the veterans who have gone into service, we took an oath to fight against enemies, foreign and domestic. And for a lot of us, domestic never came into play. Mm-hmm. Well, I think we're going to need to take the lead. When you were at Philadelphia, and I was at Philadelphia, I was so hopeful that that place would have been overrun by hundreds of thousands of people.
Right.
Because I don't think that while there were tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, and a million, the DNC would not have been able to walk out there with Hillary. They would not have been. And we need to do this. And I think that so many of us as veterans, we need to stand up.
Right.
And we're going to need to get unified ourselves and take the lead in a lot of these things. And when it comes time for protesting, and when it comes time for getting people out to vote, and when it comes time for knocking on doors in 2018. We need to have a lead. We need to lead on this. And I guess that's about one of the main things. The other thing that I was thinking was that Democrats, we are not giving our politicians nearly the hell that Republicans are in their town halls.
Wow.
We are not.
Wow.
And I don't know why that is. I watched a veteran on the Jimmy Dore show just rip this Idaho Republican a new one about health care. And what she was able to say is, wait a minute, I've been around the world. I've seen it. And everybody in this room deserves universal health care.
Right.
You can't hide this from me because I've seen it.
Right.
And, and that's a red state vet. So I don't know what we're doing. People buying Feinstein in San Francisco, talking crap, and everybody making excuses on the Democratic side. No, there is no excuse. There is no excuse.
Well, look.
Now, I'm done for the night. I love you.
I love you back, brother.
And
what was before you go, Uncle Ron? What was going on? How was the chat room taking it? Were they upset, or did they have questions, or what was it from the mood from the chat room?
About what, Tim?
About Marvin's call about veterans and about how they felt about the country.
Oh, no.
They're okay?
No, I had mentioned too. I had responded to Marvin saying everything is okay, and then some of the other chat room folks that you find out are also vets who are somewhat conflicted. I think Beth Lamb was one who said, hey, she had mad respect for me because of, I followed my father's footsteps. But
90 seconds.
My dad knew all the big boys, Colin Powell and Schwarzkopf, and they walk off with the accolades and they walk off with the positions and this and that because of the things that he did in the service. And, but they're walking around, out in the woods with 1,000 soldiers around them. You know the difference? You never see Green Berets. You never see SEALs get the accolades.
60 seconds.
They're the ones who do the work. They're the ones who suffer. And the big boys that are walking around with a brigade surrounding them are the ones who get higher office and all the pats on the back. But
isn't that just like all other crap? Thank you, Uncle Ron. I appreciate you, man, for that statement. Yeah. It's true. Full disclosure, man, I never served in the armed services. I almost went in. My mom would not sign the paperwork. I was 17 years old. I wanted to do it. My dad, who I didn't have a relationship with because he was a Vietnam vet, suffered from post-traumatic stress disorder. He had a lot of issues. And my mother and my father divorced when I was like 1. And we never really created a relationship.
10 seconds.
He slipped into deep depression, ended up on dealing with substance abuse for the rest of his life, and got very little help from the veterans. My cousin Ricky died on a training exercise, which Uncle Ron just highlighted. And the list kind of goes on and on. Like I have very little positive stories to tell, even secondhand from times in service. But I respect servicemen and women for the job that they do. I'd like to have less service women. Not because of the service woman, but because I think that we put them in harm's way far too many times for no other reason than to extract money from other countries. So that's how I see it. And but I respect anyone who does something for a noble cause. And sometimes a noble cause is just college. And that's horrible that we have college students, people who just need an education, because in the hood they tell you, man, play basketball, join the service. Like that's all you got. All right? So that's what and if you get a record, you can't even do that. Next call, y'all. 909. 909, you're live. Hey, how you doing?
Hey, this is Melinda. I hope you can hear me because I'm using my wireless headphones. So can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I hear you fine, Melinda. How you doing tonight?
Okay. So, yeah, this is Melinda from Southern California. Just a couple of quick things I just wanted to bring up. And happy Friday to everyone, and happy Mother's Day to those moms on the call. Regarding the California Democratic Convention, it is next Saturday or next weekend. I wasn't planning to go, but there's a couple of buses that have been rented out, and they're encouraging folks in LA to reserve a seat for a one-day turnaround to march and rally against the Democratic Party and trying to push for them to, cleanse themselves from money out of politics and the oil money and all the influence. So, yeah, there's going to be a lot of activity next weekend. So I would recommend, if you're not able to go, for my friends who are in Southern California, LA area, follow it on Twitter. I think we're using hashtag #CUInSAC, just like See You in Philly, but it's CUInSAC, SAC. And again, if you guys want to follow it, there's going to be a lot of people out there, a lot of mobility, a lot of Bernie-crats from the LA area. They're going to be mobilized and just pushing hard, and we're trying to make sure that we appoint a progressive California chair, and I think her name is Kim Ellison. I haven't followed all the details, but she's really the one that we're really pushing for. And so I just wanted to invite those who are able to go, those who are in that area, Sacramento, please try to go, and it'll be exciting. Secondly, a quick note on Bill Maher. I used to watch him. That used to be my husband and I's our Friday night, thing. And it's been very distasteful watching the show and seeing the coverage, and also I don't trust him anymore. It's just the fact that he's just a sellout. And you also, I'm not sure if you were aware, but during that whole Tom Paris and Keith Ellison thing that happened, the nomination, Bill Maher actually had someone on to discredit Keith Ellison. And I don't know if you guys noticed that, but that did it for me. So I think the whole clip he did about shaming Trump voters, I think that was wrong. I think that he needs to understand that there was a lot of cross voting that happened last year. A lot of people voting against someone. A lot of Republicans voting against against Trump, and a lot of Democrats voting against Hillary. So there was just a lot of cross voting, and they were both the most unfavorable candidates. And for him to put the guilt and the shame on the voters, I mean, he is hashtag a whiny little bitch. That's my opinion on Maher. So I wasn't going to talk about that, but it's been something that I've been so irritated by that video. I also wanted to give some observations regarding, just to give you a pulse of what's happening in my area. I follow several invisible Facebook group pages, and I am involved lightly in some of the events. And I got to say, there is a little bit of friction. When Hillary came up last week, and I don't know what it was about, I can't remember. I'm an anti-Hillary. I posted something, and I think one of the indivisible folks got wind of it, and so that caused a little bit of friction. So, it is what it is. Hillary's always going to be the focal point of all this resistance movement. She needs to just stay away. She needs to go back into the woods and just, disappear. And with that being said, I also want to give you a quick pulse on what's happening with the folks waking up. Yes, there's a movement on the resistance, the indivisible, kind of a sponsored organization. But I also wanted to make you guys aware that I have had a couple of people wake up. And what I mean by that is they have realized that the Democratic Party is not on their side. And it's taken tiny bits of information for them to connect it and to realize, wow, they are just as bad as the other party. And I think it goes back to what I've said before, about sprinkling some facts and get the hell out of there. The reason I say that is because I've had people oppose or kind of crickets comes to me posting information about what happened last year with the whole primary and the rigging, the whole, DNC fraud. And people either don't say anything, they don't, hit the like button, they don't, when there isn't a response, they don't agree with the things that I share. Well, I just want to let you know that there were a couple of people that actually woke up just this week when they discovered information about the DNC fraud. There are some articles out there. They are circulating around online. One landed on one of my Facebook group pages, which I didn't initiate, and then they realized, wow, they really, this whole argument about, this is just the way it is with the whole fraud, and, it's always been that way, and they can just choose whoever they want. That was a shocker for many folks who were not yet awake. And Tim, what do you think I did? I went into that post and I sprinkled some, actually I didn't even sprinkle, I loaded some facts, some heavy facts, some heavy footage, articles, videos. Somebody actually saw the post about the DNC fraud, and that person private messaged me and said, oh my God, I had no idea. This is really bad. We're losing our democracy. That person had no idea what happened last year.
Right.
So what I'm trying to say here is it takes time for these people. Yes, they are anti-Trump, this whole Russia thing, which is fine. And it's all about this, this mainstream resistance movement. That's fine. Let them do it. But then you have people like myself that sprinkle or load up some facts. They are starting to realize, they're starting to wake up and see that this is, there's this little poem that I circulated just today.
I gotta cut it off.
What is it? Democrat. Okay, I'm going to just close it up and say, Democrats are blue. Well, Republicans are red. Democrats are blue. Neither of them give a FCK about you. So I just wanted to close it up and say that that's really the bottom line. So just keep pushing, join those resistance, and just sprinkle some facts. And everybody is waking up. And last thing, those the Trump regret tweets that are out there, there's a spike of them that happened this week. So again, things are really, the tides are turning. So resist.
All right, Ermelinda, thank you so much, guys. I gotta keep it moving. I wish you would have just did the last part, because that was great. Just do the part with the Republicans are red, Democrats are blue, neither one of them. Yeah, I love that. But also the part where you talked about the DNC fraud lawsuit, something I'm very passionate about. I found out today, Beth Lamb, give it up for Beth Lamb, guys. Beth Lamb sent me a video, a documentary. It's an hour and 45 minutes long. I haven't watched the whole thing, but I'm in it, and I'm talking about election fraud. I'm talking about what's going on in our elections. And I'm so glad that Beth shared that with me. And it has Jared Beck. It has Amy Goodman. It has even Jenks in it. Different people talking about election fraud and splicing of all these different conversations about what went on during the primaries. And I thought it was fantastic. But what you said, Ermelinda, is so important. People, get this. Ermelinda said there are people in her Facebook timeline who were not susceptible or accepting of information regarding the DNC fraud or the rigged primaries until they saw it in another format. What's beautiful about that, Ermelinda, is that you know the people. I personally know the people, you know the people who put together that information. There's a couple articles written, one by Mike Sagnato, one by Zach Haller. Zach Haller's article is probably the article you're referring to. He had 7 points in there about the DNC fraud lawsuit. That article was published on Counterpropa, which is H.A. Goodman's website. It was been shared over 40,000 times, went super viral. So Jared Beck came on the show, as you all know. So look, man, we're having an impact. That's what I want to say. We're having an impact. Our little community, our little group of people that care about truth are having an impact and we're reaching others, whether through video, whether it's through articles, whether it's on the street, whether it's in Facebook groups, whether it's in your personal Facebook timeline. Just keep doing it, people. Keep doing it. She's right. Some people don't know. You think they know and they just reject it, but they just don't know the information. All right, let me keep going. All right. Fantastic, guys. That's what's up. I love this. Let me make sure I got this person. I got an 804 number in the house. Hey, 804, you're live. Freedom Friday.
Hey, what's up, Tim? It's your number one favorite eye-hole man coming back on the show, man. Long time no talking to.
What's up, Montague? How you doing, brother?
I'm doing just fine. Gearing up for round two because I'm my last year when I ran for city council, I got a lot of popularity over some of my stances, but a lot of people thought I should have ran for a state office instead of running for a local office. So I'm gearing up to run for the House of Delegates here in Virginia in the 69th district.
Wow, brother.
So that's
I'm impressed, man.
Yep. The fight continues for me. But I want to just touch on something right quick because there are like a lot of issues have come up that are of importance this week. The DNC lawsuit and all that that's going on, the beef that's been going on with amongst progressive YouTubers, that all those things are important. And and some of that infighting that's going on amongst ourselves, I believe is healthy and is necessary because that's how we are going to determine what direction we want to go in terms of how we get our sources and our information. I'm hoping that the TYT folks will get their shit together, excuse my language, will get their things together and actually and start reporting on objective stories. For example, it just came out in Vice News, for example, that what's his name? Jeff Sessions, the Attorney General, has just passed distributed a memorandum to expand the use of mandatory minimums, to ordering federal prosecutors to seek the use of mandatory minimums in almost every case involving drugs now, in order to combat the opioid epidemic. And I think that we need to start. This is becoming a problem because we've already seen the disastrous effects of the war on drugs, and now it's like Jeff Sessions is using his position to basically pull the brakes off of the war on drugs altogether. And I believe that it's about time for us to start coming together, whether you decide to run for office, whether you decide to work with organizations like the ACLU and help build the people's power. We need to start coming together and checking the police and putting them in check. We cannot allow them to continue to have this massive amount of power unchecked, and we can't allow these people that we allow to serve in elected offices or appointed offices to continue to increase power the way they have, because we already know that Trump has expanded police power by executive order, despite the fact that FBI reports have already come out pointing out how white supremacist groups have infiltrated all police departments across the country. With that kind of infiltration going on, and with Jeff Sessions passing out the memorandums requiring federal prosecutors to seek mandatory minimum sentences on drug cases, I feel like the for-profit prison industry is going to start ramping up more than it already has. And again, we need to come together and we need to place a check on that power. Excellent. One way or another. One of the ways I believe we do that, Oregon, a little while ago, the state of Oregon, they passed a law making this law a state of sanctuary, a sanctuary state for all refugees and immigrants. We need to start supporting policies like that. We need to start supporting civilian review boards for every sheriff's department, police department, and every juvenile corrections facility in our respective areas. And there's a lot more that we have to do, but those are, in my opinion, good starts to finally putting a check on police power, to stop the militarization of police before the government winds up taking the police and starts using them against us more than they already have.
Wow. I agree. Wholeheartedly, man. Look, Montague, man, I appreciate you calling up with that bit of information. You're right. I'm going to go to that story. I got that story on my desk. U.S. prosecutors told to push for more harsher punishments. That was on my to-do list, man. Thank you. Horrible stuff.
That's part of it.
Damn it, brother.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, we have to start coming together. I mean, I understand we got, like I said, the infighting that's going on within the progressive community, the radical community. It's healthy. It's normal. We gotta work some stuff out amongst us so we can come together with a solid mind. But we gotta recognize the threat that's fast rising, and we need to organize it against it quickly.
I love it, man. Thank you so much, Montague. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
You know, man, I'm about to go to the next call. Give me 20 seconds. I bring on independent media people on this channel all the time, so recognize that there are some people who want to grow independent media and others who see independent media as a threat. That's just what it is. I mean, how many times do they have independent media people on Young Turks that aren't Young Turks? I have people all the time on my show that aren't connected to me. So some people, once again, want to grow independent media, see the importance of independent media, and to some others, that's just competition that they want to get rid of. I mean, I don't know why people can't see that. That's like obvious. It's like, to me, it would seem obvious in a way. I mean, I'm hoping that maybe it's that way because I'm so close to it, and I know that I've had Nico House on this show, I've had Debbie Lou Signan on this show, that I've had Steve Grumbine on this show, that I've had Ed Higgins on this show, that I've had Michael Salamone on this show, that I've had all these people on the show who have platforms that they're trying to start. Michael Trim on this, Michael Trim, we've done some stuff together. The Humanist Report, when he was small, was on this show. Lee Camp was on this show. All these people I had on this show who are competing. I never looked at it that way. Now, I ask you, how many of those types of people have been on the Young Turks? And then you answer yourself why. I'm not good TV. Debbie's not good TV. Claudia's not good TV. We have good audiences. Audiences think we're good. So let's not fool ourselves into thinking this is just over ideology. It's also about business. It's about business too. So think about it that way also. So we have growing pains because some people want us to grow and some people want us to know. Just go. We got this. And I'm sorry, that's not going to work. So please keep your head on the swivel so you can see what's going on. All right, I'm going to move on to the next call. 562. 562, you're live. Freedom Friday, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Tim Black. This is Marvin from California.
Marvin, my man, we were talking about you tonight, brother.
Man, and that is the awesome thing about your channel. That sets you, to me, in my opinion, far and away apart from other channels. And I'm not trying to diss nobody, but I heard Uncle Ron, props to you, Uncle Ron, and thank you for those words. But Tim, how was it that a video that you put out? I've never met you personally. This is all internet stuff through YouTube, through your platform. I'm in California. You in Maryland or
I'm in Maryland? I'm in Maryland
sorry.
now, brother. Yeah.
Okay, so we coasts apart, but people seen the video that referenced me and my comment from a couple of days ago, and now I'm on the same program where Uncle Ron was referencing it. I'm like, oh, that's pretty awesome. Tim, my opinion of TYT, and this is just strictly my opinion. I used to watch him a lot, but I always looked at him as the internet's version of, you know, the NBC Nightly News or the CBS Nightly News. They're emulating that format of like actual news. What sets you apart is you, Tim Black, is for people who, is news for people who can't stand the news. That's what sets Tim Black apart from everybody else, right. Especially TYT. And I'm not trying to diss them. Tim, you just got an awesome platform. Peace. I'm out.
Thank you, Marvin. Look, right to the punch, man. And you know, man, hey, look, Marvin, that was my tagline. Like, I never wanted to be MSNBC or CNN. My tagline for this show when I started was news for people who can't stand the news. That was on point. So, no, I'm not going to be like this dude who used to work for Fox. No, I'm not going to be like that guy. I don't have any intentions to be like that guy. No, and I'm not going to sound like Don Lemon up in this mug, right? And none of that. I'm going to be me. And some people like it, some people don't. Yeah. We go to the next call, man. It's like that. I'm not here to emulate anyone. I don't buy into trends. I set trends. 734, man. Thank you, 734, for your patience. It's a full house tonight. How you doing, 734?
Hi, Tim. This is Jack DiBiase from Detroit. How are you?
Jack in the hat. What's up, Jack? How you doing, brother?
I want to give a shout out to H.A. Goodman. He linked my video where I defended you guys against the attack made by Cenk Uygur, Jordan Sheridan, and Kyle Kalinske. And I just want to give him a shout out.
Oh, man, I saw that video, Jack. Give it up for Jack, man. My bad, Jack. Yeah, I saw that, man. You were serious. You did not hedge. You said how you felt. Thank you, Jack.
Yeah, and because I had some things, if the Democrats want to be taken seriously, they need to add some things to their platform in order for them to get serious. Well, first off, they need to run Tim Canova in 2020. I think he's the guy that should run for president in 2020.
Wow.
They also need to have a good energy policy. They can't just be going with solar and wind. They got to prop up some of these other alternative energies as well, such as tidal power, thorium power. That's something that actually some pro-fossil fuel people agree on. That's something that progressives and, more free market people could agree on, and that could be a big win for progressives, and it's much safer than regular uranium. It's a great way to make electricity. And then you've got not just tidal power in that, but you also got hydrogen power. If we could get that, that's also a win. That's also a big producer of jobs. That would be a big progressive win. So that's something they got to do. And they got to get single payer passed. And they also got to do what Bernie Sanders was calling for when he was campaigning in West Virginia. They got to get a mental health care revolution. Because whether you're somebody who, and I said this in my info in that one video, that whether you're someone who's Keynesian or whether you're somebody who's more supply side economics, psychology has got to do more with the economy. So many of the business mistakes would be corrected if we had proper mental health care, if we made it a standard along with dental and vision, and physical. It would be, so those are some of the things that progressives got to do. They just got to keep pushing on it. They got to stop red baiting. Rachel Maddow's not helping, and being paid $30,000 a day, it doesn't shock me. And she's ignoring the advice of Richard Engel, who's telling her on the air that all these Trump stories are false. The golden shower, whatever it's called, and but that's kind of what my 2 cents are about it, and I just hope that progressives start to wise up a little bit. That's all.
Yeah, man. I hope they get wiser too, man. Thank you for your call, my friend Jack. I love hearing about these new energy sources. A couple of those I hadn't actually heard of those before. Yeah, good points, brother. I'm thinking. Oh, what he said something that stuck to me about something that we should be focused on. Gosh, Tim Canova. Like, I never heard anyone say Tim Canova should run for president, bro. I like hearing that. It's a new thought, right? It's a new thought. I don't know, man. I'm going to consider that. You know, like that's a new offering. Because when we name candidates that we want to support, we get the same names: Nina, Tulsi, Bernie, Tim Canova. You know, I champion for Tim Canova. No doubt. Let me go to the next call, man. Thank you for your patience. I got a 202 number in the house. 202, you're live. Freedom Friday. How you doing?
Big brother Tim Black. What's up, man? It's EJ and VA.
I thought that was you, EJ. I don't want to say the wrong name, man. What's happening, EJ?
You already know, man. I'm happy because the Wizards won. John Wall with the game winner going on to Game 7.
Wow.
Had to throw that out there.
No doubt.
It just happened. But, man, you had some great callers tonight, man. That's the thing. Like, I can call with nothing to say, and by the time it's my turn, like, I have too much. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, this one caller reminded me of my favorite quote, sprinkle some facts on them. That's always been my favorite one. I ain't even know TYT with the donations to Wolfpack. 58% is pretty high, and I'm pretty high. The caller with Jeff Sessions, yeah, he's bad for the police and the community. Definitely with the relationships, he's definitely bad. With Ro Khanna, like when you talk to him, if you remember, like I'm curious why he wanted to criticize Tulsi Gabbard for visiting Syria and just getting the facts. Like that makes me question what his priorities are. Like, do you want to fight Assad or do you want to fight ISIS? And if you want to fight Assad, I mean, that leads me to believe that maybe there's some corporate interests from some favors from the past. I don't know. It's just I'm just following the trails. TYT, like Jordan Charity is so whack for what he was saying. Like, you can be whack and be right about Standing Rock, but I mean that was so whack. Like, I don't know if he thought it was sweet, but it's not. Like, people rock with you because you're the truth and you genuine. And honestly, the beef has honestly been good for you and HA and Nico because, like, you got out in front of it and addressed it directly. Like, don't talk trash and then you can't back it up with nothing else. I'm just going to say this and be quiet. Nah, that's whack. So, I mean, that's why I can't really follow movements, like, because people get in the way. Like, so, I mean, I can't follow the Justice Dems because of AJ made a very valid point when he was going on. He said that we can't really trust them not to turn their back on their values in the end because we've seen them do it before. And then there's questions about this guy they already bringing in that need to be answered. So, I don't know, it's just another red flag. And Bill Maher is whack lately. I mean, he's cool in the past, but lately he's been whack because, I don't know, because I believe his views will lead to Trump in 2020. And he might say that my views would lead to Trump in 2020, but, I mean, he hates Trump. I don't really hate Trump like some people. I think any given year I can vote for any given candidate just depending on the system. My problem with Trump is I don't know if he's for capitalism or crony capitalism. And I do believe is a big difference. I mean, I just opened the S-Corp. I'm trying to avoid some taxes. So I'll go ahead and leave on that note. Oh, yeah, my man with the Pizzagate, hashtag Pizzagate, bring back the missing D.C. girls. And I'm out.
No doubt, man. Look, man, EJ, I'm gonna do a little meetup in DC, bruh, because I need to come down. I want to do some stuff. Like one thing Jordan said, man, is I don't get out enough. He didn't say that, but he kind of hinted that we didn't get out enough. You know, I done stuff in DC before, in Philly, as you know, thanks to you guys, and at University of Maryland, right? But so hit me up, man. Email me, EJ, because you in DC, man. I like to plan something, man. If it ain't nothing but just pizza and talking shit or talking truth, I like to do that, man. So
no question, I do it. You know, already, no question. I just do it for free, just to help you, because you my man. Like,
no
I
doubt.
rock with your show, and I respect what you're doing.
Yeah,
like,
man.
I probably could get some members in my lodge who would be interested in this.
No doubt, man.
But
We live stream it and promote them too, man. That's what's up, man. Let's do it, man. I'm serious, man. It's getting warm, bro.
No doubt.
No doubt, my friend. No doubt, family. Let me keep going, guys. We got a full house, and I don't want the calls to cut anybody off. 330. How you doing?
Hey, Tim. It's Lucas. I called in about Bill Nye a few days ago.
Yeah, you know what, Lucas? I'm good. Man, this is perfect, Lucas, man. Thank you, bro. Because Eban Kim, who's we work very closely together on Bright Path Media, and he's like great, man. He was telling me, he said, Tim, you need to do a video about Bill Nye and all the pushback he got. And I haven't had a chance to dig through that. What's your comments about Bill Nye?
Well, before I was kind of fast about it, and I didn't give a lot of why I was angry. I just kind of said I was angry at him for lying and for having the corporate, like the CEO of Monsanto, on his panel and only giving a one-sided argument for GMOs on his show and basically doing a propaganda film.
Okay.
But one of the reasons, but if you want specific reasons I'm mad and the counter arguments is one of them is he says that genetic modification happens in nature. And it's well, it's true that, transgenics is possible in nature. It's so rare. It's every few thousand years, and it's not always safe. Sweet potatoes were, the response of a plant in the cucumbit family mixing with a plant in the nightshade family, like a potato, and it created the sweet potato, and it just happened to be edible, and it's really this crazy thing that happened. And if you were to try to do that unnaturally, if you were to try to cross something like that unnaturally, the chances of it being safe are much smaller than the chances of it being toxic or inedible. And he talked about how BT has, and how we've been spraying BT liquids and powders on organic crops for years. And it's sure, we spray botulinum toxin on our stuff, and it's very toxic, but it's a naturally occurring toxin that it occurs in botulism. Whenever you can something improperly,
right.
And it's biodegradable. So if you spray it on your corn and then it rains, it's gone. There's no VT left on the corn. But if you virally insert genetic markers that go in and they change every single cell of the corn, and they change the DNA to produce BT within every single cell, and it's virally introduced, well, then the animals that are eating it and the humans that are eating it are now consuming thousands of times the BT that they would have before. And not only that, but the things that virally insert the genes can now virally insert the BT-producing genes into your gut bacteria and cause your gut bacteria to produce BT and other toxins in your intestines, causing inflammatory bowel disease and Crohn's disease, which just happens to be very common in my family, and I'm genetically predisposed to that.
Wow. So that would give me some exceptions to some of the stuff he talked about if I had that information. What's your follow-up, man? What's on your mind tonight? Is it regarding Bill Nye, or something else?
Well, actually, I just kind of wanted to give a little background and how much I appreciate your show and how I found your show. I got into politics back. I knew about Bernie Sanders before he ran for president, and I supported him then. But whenever he ran for president, and I was able to, and I had something I could latch onto and follow up to the minute and get information on, is when I really hopped in. And ever since he announced his candidacy, I've been head in. Like during the primaries, I watched TYT every night, and then whenever he lost the primaries, and they switched full blown to Hillary, I couldn't watch it anymore. And that's when I found Jimmy Dore being the honest person on the panel, and I switched and just started watching the Jimmy Dore show. And then your show came up in a suggestion on YouTube, and I watched it, and I was like, man, I like this guy. He's just like Jimmy. He tells the truth while also including humor. And it's like you said earlier, it's news for people who hate the news. Like, I can't stand watching people in $6,000 suits tell me what should be relevant to me.
Man, I thank you so much, brother. And you're right, man. Jimmy, did you see Jimmy and I's show together? Did you see that shit?
Yeah, and I loved it.
People still write me, man, saying that was the best news video they've ever seen. Now, some people rate it highly, but some people think it's like really highly, like the best. And we just had a good time, man. No prep. Just got together and talked it real, man. Just talked about life, talked about news, talked about politics. And had a great time, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic, man. Look.
Well, I actually have a video I want to suggest to you. There's a channel on YouTube called the Center for Progressive Urban Politics. And while I don't like the label progressive, because I think progress is a subjective term, this channel is really good. And they had a panel discussion back in March, and they had 5 guys from around the country from similar circles that are very intelligent. They had Frank Morris, Chris Martenson, James Howard Kunstler, John Michael Greer, and Dmitry Orlov just talk about current events and future of this country. And when I watched that panel, it's really long. It's 2.5 hours, but your eyes are glued to it because it's real talk. They're being serious. They're not sugarcoating anything. They talk about what there is realistically, what you can realistically be hopeful for, but why toxic optimism is actually dangerous to the cause of wanting to change things. And it's just a really good, real talk about the future,
Well, look, man, I'll check it out, man. Thank you, Lucas. I got to keep it moving, but I appreciate you, brother. He said, check out the Center for Progressive Politics. And you know what? A lot of people talk about progressive, right? So check this out. I like what Zach Haller described progressivism is. He said, it's just willing to break the status quo. It's not progress. Some people say it's progress, and I guess breaking the status quo could be considered progress. But being a progressive is you're willing to break the status quo, which is the normal operation of a system. If you're willing to do that's why we relate to a lot of the Trump people who are like conservatives or whatever, who are waking up on that side and hey, this isn't right. What's this crap? So anyone who wants to break the status quo has a little bit of progressive in them. Doesn't matter who you voted for. That's a core thing. Now, you may make other decisions based on other criteria that factors in, but I think that's really important. We have some people who want to maintain the system the way it is, Hillary supporters, and we have other people who want to break the system. And that's what it is, because when you think about it, that's how you really get a Trump, because he was the break from the system. If you think about it, that's really what it was. And what was Bernie Sanders? He was also a break from the system. And they can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. People want out of the system. They want the system broken. Because it's already, actually it's running the way it should run, the way they designed it to run. We're trying to break that mother. Let me go to the next call. Thank you so much, Lucas. I appreciate you, bro. 404. Hey, 404, you're live. Freedom Friday.
Tim Black, it's Ariel in Atlanta.
Ariel, how you doing, sister?
I'm doing great, and I'm glad that I'm the next caller because Lucas hit some things on the head. James Howard Kunstler is one of my favorite guys. He's a fabulous mind. I would love it if you got him on the show sometime. You would have a kick with him.
What's his name again?
James Howard Kunstler.
James
And
Howard.
if you don't remember that name, you'll remember the name of his blog because it's Clusterfuck Nation.
Yeah, that. I think I'm about to go with Clusterfuck
Yeah.
Nation. There we go. I'm about to use that one.
He's a really cool old guy who lives in upstate New York, and he talks a lot about the crumbling infrastructure of the country. There's been some great callers tonight, so I've got all these things in my mind. I'm trying to make notes. But yeah, I mean, he will talk about how, and he's definitely not like Mr. Feelgood. And that talk that Lucas mentioned, I watched that whole lecture with the 4 guys, and it's fabulous. So I highly recommend you or anybody tuning into that. It's excellent. And the trouble is, as we're coming to huge changes environmentally, energy-wise, the whole thing is on the line. And so, people all say they want, energy solutions and, all these solutions. But what they really want to know is how they can keep driving to Walmart in the SUV to keep buying the stuff from China. They don't want anything to really change. But we're coming up to inevitable changes. We are not going to keep being able to drive the SUV around back and forth to Walmart. It's not going to happen. Will we have energy? Sure, but it's not going to be like what we've had, and it's not going to be at the, consumption and the waste that we're accustomed to by any means. A big thing that Kunstler also talks about, when there was a great call earlier, I'm sorry I can't remember his name, but he was talking about, the way that we put people into the military, and then we don't provide for them when they come back, and just, how we push people into that. And they they have less and less of a country that's worth fighting for, because it's just a suburban wasteland. What are we fighting for? What are we keeping? A country that doesn't give health care as a right to its citizens? We're not a free country until we're taking care of our people. There's just no other way about it. So let's see. The other thing I wanted to mention, another great thing for everyone to watch, if you haven't seen it on Netflix, is a documentary I just watched about the Black Panthers. It's called Vanguard of the Revolution. And I love history. History is a big interest of mine, and I think that you can learn so much. And that's recent history. So there's a ton of it, because there's so many people still alive that were right in the middle of all that. And it's a really well done. It's a 2-hour-long series, and there's certainly more that they could have put in there, but then it would have lasted, a very long time. But one of the figures that really stood out to me was a guy named Fred Hampton? Fred Hartman, I can't remember the last
Hampton,
name.
You're correct.
He was an amazing guy, and he was this young fellow. Very, very good speaker, really, was able to organize well. And the most dangerous thing that he did, to him personally, was he started reaching across to people. He started going to the poor white communities and the poor Latino communities, and he started really, connecting with them. And as a result, of course, Hoover and the government, they took out an assassination hit on him, killed him at 21 years old. And so, yeah, I think when I hear people saying that, Bernie's being, potentially threatened and things like that, it's altogether possible. Because that's probably the most dangerous thing anyone can do in this country, is to reach out across race, across sex, across, economy, and really connect with everyone. Because when everyone starts working together, that's what it's all about. Then the gig is up. They're not going to be able to fight against that. But, it's a little scary, too, because, you see that. Anytime there's been a revolution or a movement like that, a lot of times it ends in violence, because they don't want it. They don't want it. The powers that be do not want us to have free health care. They do not want it. They will fight tooth and nail, and it does worry me that it's just going to somehow devolve into violence at some point. Because, you study the French Revolution, study, the Black Panthers, study any of these situations where people keep on knocking on the door and saying, we need this, we need this. And the Black Panthers did the same thing, because they were offering free medical clinics. They would, get doctors to come in and help the people in the communities. They would arrange, kitchens for people that were hungry. And so it's like, if people keep saying, we need this, we need this, if the government and, the powers that be ignore it long enough, they're going to have a violent uprising. It's just, that's history, and we're going to repeat it if we don't learn from it quick.
I hear you.
So that's my screed tonight, Tim. One last comment on Jordan and the Young Turks. I love what Stephanie said about this guy saying he's this hot-looking ladies' man, and I'll second that. He ain't that good-looking. And And the other thing that rankles me a little bit about him is his bragging about Standing Rock, which is what I see it as. You know, it's like it's one of those things. I think there's a lot of people that have a good heart and a good spirit about this. But my mom, you know, she's American Indian. We've got to, you know, it kind of gets me because a lot of times I see that. And if you're using it as like a badge to shine and brag about, oh, well, look, I went up there and da-da-da-da, like I'm better than you because I did that, that doesn't mean you were doing it for the right reason. You were just using it as a bragging chip. That's all that was.
There it is.
So that's
Thank
yeah,
you.
that's it. And I love that he also said that HA and you are mad at them because you don't think they're angry enough. Like, what is that?
I have no idea.
I don't consider you and HA to be like these thrashing angry guys. You know, I don't see that. This was like angry enough. What do they want? That made me laugh. I was like, you gotta be joking.
Ariel, I appreciate you.
Desperate. They're desperate to grab that brass ring.
Yeah.
They're trying to corporate up.
Yep, that's right. I agree with you.
For the brass ring.
Thank you for seeing through the BS, though, Ariel, because not everybody can do that.
Thank you, Tim.
You know it, sister. 512, you're live, Freedom Friday. Who's this?
Hey, Tim. Good to hear from you, brother.
Hey, how you doing now? Who's this?
It's Matt from Austin. I've never talked to you before.
Oh, Matt, man, thank you for calling in, man. I'm glad to have you on the line, Matt. What's on your mind
You know
tonight?
what? I'm so glad that you're willing to talk to your constituents and to your people and to the people who like you. I did want to say, unlike a lot of people that you talk to, I actually learned about you from Jordan's video, and then I went and I saw your content, and it turns out I liked it, so I'm a subscriber and I'm also a Patreon.
Damn! Look, man, look at that. That makes it all worth it, brother. You just don't know, man. I appreciate that, Matt.
Yeah. Now I do want to say that I still love TYT. I support TYT. I'm a TYT member. I think what Jordan said about you was untoward and was wrong, and I think that if he really did mistake you for somebody else, if nothing else, that's bad journalism. Like, that's bad reporting. He didn't get his facts right, and that's his whole job. So I do want to say I think Jordan is wrong on that. I'm a fan of both of you guys now, and I'm interested to see how that conversation goes forward. Other than that, I wanted to make another point, totally other point, or ask you a question. I've been really, especially with like this whole Jeff Sessions thing coming out, and you had another caller on your show earlier who was talking about this Jeff Sessions coming out and expanding minimum mandatories for the war on drugs. And we all know what the war on drugs is. That is a campaign against people of color and minorities. We all know it. Now, I'm a white, straight, cisgendered male in America. So I'm literally the most privileged person on the planet. And I wanted to ask you, because I can't really ask my friends, because like I know black people, but I they're not necessarily politically engaged and politically active. They're not public figures, so I don't want to ask them what to do. But like when I read, I've been reading about revolutions and reading about political activism to try and get involved, because we see these systemic systems of racist oppression becoming forefront in our current administration. And it's important that as many people as possible get involved in the movement, but being that, it seems like really the revolutions, like, and you had a lot of callers talk about Standing Rock. I went to Standing Rock. I met Jordan at Standing Rock. I think I understand Standing Rock because I was there. Like, this movement started from children and from women and from people of color and from oppressed minorities. And I think really, if we're going to have a real revolution in this country, it's going to come from those same groups, because they've been struggling against oppression for forever. And for somebody like me, who is in the majority of the American country, it's important to be a part of those movements, but I've found like a lot of people in my same situation trying to become leaders of that movement, and that doesn't make any sense to me. And so when Jeff Sessions says he wants to expand the war on drugs, and we all know that's some racist code language bullshit, Like, how do people like me become more active in the community and more active in the movement without, white knighting for the movement and without making it about ourselves and, like, without getting too involved in the center of it because it's not our movement? Like, how do we become better actors in that social change that we want to see, or in the change for justice that we want to see? Because I don't think it's going to be people like me that are going to lead these movements. It's going to be the women. It's going to be the children. It's going to be the people of color that are champions of this movement. And I want to know, like, from your perspective, how we support that.
Man, I love the question, Matt. I appreciate that question. It's amazing. I will answer it. My phone lines will die soon, though, Matt. So make sure you go watch YouTube so you can get that answer, because I don't want you to miss my response to your question, because it's a damn good question. How can white guys like Matt support the revolution? I'm going to answer that question, Matt. But don't miss it. So go to YouTube right now. Find Tim's Take live on YouTube or type in Tim Black and come to the YouTube channel, because that phone line is going to go out soon, guys. And it's not up to me. It's up to the time that we have on the phone line. Let me go to the next call. I'm going to get to it, Matt. 843. Do I have an 843? I do. 843 number in the queue.
Hey, Tim.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, Tim.
Hey.
It's your sister, little sis Autumn.
Autumn's in the house. What's up, Autumn? Good to have you back. All right.
You know what? Oh, my God. Everything. You know what? I can't even, begin. I mean, number one, I was, totally amazed that I caught the show earlier and you were, talking about Bob, B-O-B.
Yeah.
That poor guy who has been, putting out videos, and when I, became a Bernie bot and followed everything, somehow I came across his show, your show, the, I don't know, LTMB, whatever, and I wound up primarily with your show, and obviously we're still here, after a year?
After a year,
but,
sis.
yeah, I was just oh my God, that is so awesome that Tim is getting attention, to him, because he's, the sweetest guy, isn't he?
Oh, man,
and
he's fantastic, man. Bob is
not only is he sweet, Tim, but the guy knows all this, political stuff and this and that. But, he never gets any attention. But, every single day he goes to his little apartment and makes his little videos whenever he makes them. I mean, hell. And I had totally forgotten about him until you mentioned him tonight. And I was like, oh, my God, I have to go back to B.O.B., and see what he's doing, really.
Right.
Hey,
look,
because that's the nature, right, of, media, and you tend to stick with people and hang with them or whatever. I'm with you, every single day, and I was with LTMB. But Bob, somehow kindly fell out of favor. And until you mentioned him tonight, I was like, oh, my God, I need to go back and see what he's doing.
Well, I'm glad to bring him back to your mind. I'm glad to bring him back in front of you, and that's great. That's the litmus test, right?
Tim, that is so beautiful that you gave a shout out to him.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah. It's beautiful that he's a great guy, man. He's doing his thing. And look.
No, he is. He's a great guy, and he's very earnest, and he's very learned, and he knows a lot about politics, but yeah, he for whatever reason, he never caught the
caught fire.
Caught the thing. Exactly, the fire. I mean, yeah. So yeah, but for a long time, then we back in the Bernie days, and that video that you put out on Bernie, broke my heart.
I know, sis.
Broke my heart.
I know.
And it broke your heart putting it out there.
Yes.
But it was true, because you put out all of our doubts and problems, and we had been, faithful, and you put it out there. Why? And that was huge
It was tough.
and necessary, don't you think?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I stand
Yeah,
behind it.
we can't just like continue like being like Bernie or Busters when there is no Bernie there to bust. You know, 'cause, you know, we can like take out that he brought us together, that he set us afire, this and that. But yeah, you know, all this stuff, you put it out there. We can't. I think what you said, what was it you said? That you left the door open. You didn't close the door.
Right. Absolutely.
And that was beautiful.
Well, look, Autumn,
You know?
I got to go to the next call. You, my big sis, my little sis, who sends me great stories. You always help me out. Everybody get up for Autumn. She's a great friend. And thank you, Autumn. Look, Autumn's right. Look, I'm so glad Autumn got that video because some people I lost a couple people. Like, they totally, like, pulled money from me, like, really pissed off that I would even criticize, even suggest that we hold Bernie accountable for some stuff that he's doing that they don't agree with. I cannot be a hypocrite. If I got to question something, I'm going to question it. That's what I do. No one's above being questioned. I can be questioned. You just saw it, right? I can be questioned. I did not disrespect Bernie or anyone else. I just questioned these things and said, hey, you know what? Maybe it's time for us to stop saying Bernie, 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 and to say Tim Black and these person, that person. What are we going to do? We can't get it all for one person. I've been hinting at that for a while, but it kind of got to the point where, hey, you know what, guys? This needs to be said. And like I said, keep the door open for Bernie. Keep the door open. But we got to go ahead, man. Look, the Bernie that I loved, that I respected, I always saw him with the mentality that he would say, you're right, go ahead and go. Go do it. Get it, do it. Don't wait on me. It's not about me. That was the whole thing. Not me, us. We are one. Right? Political revolution was about us, not just Bernie and people waiting for Bernie. And so we just keep going. And Bernie can catch up. But I'm not going to wait around. And if I have questions, I'm going to ask them. And if people get butthurt because I ask questions of a public figure, heck, man, I'm in that arena. I get questions all the time. Bernie could take some questioning, and we could do some hard thinking about some of the stuff that's going on. So, hey, there it is. It wasn't a bash video. It was an ask video. Out of love. Out of love. All right. Go to the next call. Hope that you're still there. 267, you're live, Freedom Friday. How you doing?
Yeah, Tim Black. This is Christian, man, calling out of Philly. How you doing tonight?
Man, I'm doing well, man. How's Philly?
Philly's good. Philly's good. Yeah, Freedom Friday is lit tonight. So many good callers, so many good points. So I'm gonna try to stay on what I wanted to call about to give other callers a chance. So I've been letting this TYT thing brew for about a week. I wanted to call in last week, but I couldn't even get in. But just I'm not one to, like, you know, say, oh, TYT is the devil, TYT is the enemy, you know, because they do have an important place, whether you're on their team or not. But I'm going to say...
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
That sucks, man. Didn't that suck? See what I'm saying about the phone lines, guys? That phone line is gone. That's it for the phone line, guys. Give it up for everybody that called into the show. Everybody that called into the show, give it up for them. I hate when that happens, man. You know, we went on a little bit after 9. The phone lines are like 2 hours. So, yeah. I hate when that happens. We got bigger. You got to call earlier because we got bigger, guys. We got bigger. This is part of this is the YouTube beef. But I want to, before I do anything else, let me go to this question that my friend Matt asked. He said, how can white guys like Matt support the revolution for, like, equality and some of the issues that are, you know, that for the most part have been led by women of color, young people, younger people, or just, you know, black issues, indigenous issues, these types of things. He wants to know, like, what can he do? How can he help out? How can we be a part of it? And he's self-aware enough to know that these movements are going to be run by these people who are more closely associated with them, more directly impacted by whatever the grievance is, right? So that's a natural thing. Like if you're a person that lives if you live in California and there's a problem in West Virginia, right? And the problems in West Virginia, who is more likely to stick with that problem longer? The people living in West Virginia or you in California? Now, of course, you want to help. You may want to assist. So it's the same type of mentality. We know that the people in West Virginia are going to be more intimately affected by it. Meanwhile, it's going to stay on their radar when other stuff happens. So this is not just a racial issue. This is more of proximity to the problem. When you throw a rock over a fence, the dog that bites is the dog get hit. That dog's going to keep barking. So what can Matt do? And people like Matt, I'll tell you what you can do when you recognize the socioeconomic situation, which is America. Give money. I don't just say just throw money out the window at different organizations. I say vet those organizations and give money to those organizations that you know that you have faith in, that the money goes where it needs to go to help these issues. I'm going to tell you straight up, man, African Americans by and large, and for more information on this, I suggest you join Breaking Brown. I realize I can't do everything. I can't be that voice and be Tim Black and do this and do that. I can't do it all. So there are other people that are doing things within the area of, race, culture, fighting back, trying to find political capital for black folks, descendants of slaves in this country, and provide solutions and a way forward and dialogue and helping educate people, because education's huge, right? So I can't do it all, and I don't want to compete with them all. There's no reason to. Breaking Brown might help you with that, as well as the Funky Academic, and there's a couple other people like Antonio Moore. Like, these people are all in this group. If you can give to those people, if you can provide assistance, research ability, if you can provide legal counsel, like there's ways. If you can provide technology, like with my show, Ebon Kim, he sent me a computer. You know how big that was? That was huge, right? It means I did not have to take money out of the little bit of money that I raised, because if you compare me to like a Jimmy Dore, what he gets monthly, and please don't compare me to Secular Talk, what he gets monthly is crazy. Not to mention what they get on YouTube, not to mention other stuff that they sell. I'm talking about just on Patreon. We're talking about me, we're talking about I get like 5% of what Secular Talks gets. And I know Secular Talk's good, but he ain't that good. He ain't that much better than me. Jimmy's great, but is he 10 times better than me? That's the type of level of support that he gets. So when Bon Kim sent me a PC, it meant a lot, because I didn't have to try to save take this money from, I get this much from AdSense and I get the other. I didn't have to do that. So there's so many ways, and you're more than just money. You can be support. You know how important it is for me to have somebody help me look at contracts. There are other ways you can get involved. Whatever you do, whatever that thing is that is your expertise, you can offer that. It does not have to be money. There's so many ways to be involved. And Matt, I respect the fuck out of you for asking. All right? The fact that you asked and you didn't take it personal. It's like I said before, if there's a problem in Maryland, and it's going on in Maryland right now, and you live in Buffalo, but the problem's in Maryland, who are the people that are going to be most likely to stick with that problem? The people in Maryland, because they're right there with it. They got to wake up to it. They don't get to turn on the channel and it goes away. They're right there. So let's not make it about race. Let's make it about proximity to the fucking pain. And if we make it about that, we can take our personal feelings out of it and don't get butthurt and just say, you know what, hey, how can I help? And it's a beautiful thing, Matt, that you're a big enough man to say that and to honestly ask that. But remember, it's not just money. It's also resources. It's connections. It's Zach Haller helping me by talking to Ro Khanna and saying, Ro, you need to go on Tim's show. And Ro going on Tim's show, which will be Wednesday, which will be the day after Jamal Thomas comes on my show, which is the day after H.A. Goodman comes on the show. So it's a lot going on next week. But yeah, you get my point. Zach did that because he provided a resource which was his voice. It's amazing what we do when we work together, and there's all types of ways to work together. All right? I love you guys so much, man. I appreciate you. More than that, I respect you. How about that? I respect you. And let's just keep the party going. So, shout out to everybody who called up. And so many people, man. I don't even want to start naming names because everybody was calling up and we're hitting on so many cylinders. I'm just damn impressed. What a night. What a night full of information. Great calls. Great to see people come out. Look, when you are faced with challenges, trying to communicate with people, trying to get people to see things your way, trying to educate them, trying to give them the breadcrumbs to solutions or to just seeing what's going on. I think most people just have no clue about some of this stuff. They're busy. It's not because they're bad people. They're busy. They got stuff going on. They got distractions over here. They got responsibilities over there. They got family over here, kids over there. The car breaking down, the lawn needs cut. Roaches running around, or the dog out, the dog needs shots. I don't know. It's all this stuff going on. They got health concerns. They're trying to keep the marriage together. This is a lot. This is a lot. Hope the job doesn't shut down. What's this with my check? What's this with my check? All that's going on. And then here you come with information that's totally rocking their whole world, right? This, I don't know who's this, Flavor Flav? I don't know who this is, right? So sometimes they're not going to be susceptible. They're just not going to listen. They're going to be defensive. They're going to push back. And sometimes they may get angry with you. It's times like that where we have to take advice from the great Dave Chappelle. And Dave Chappelle had a skit where in that skit, he used to say a little phrase and it went something like this.
Let's sprinkle some crack on them and get out of here.
Well, in those situations, don't sprinkle no crack, sprinkle some facts and get the hell out of there. I'm Tim Black. Thank you for tuning in. I don't care what anybody tells you. The whole system is designed to do one thing, and that one thing is ask you. You gonna eat your cornbread? Now, I like cornbread, and cornbread is not physical cornbread that you eat. My cornbread is my beliefs, my values, things I will not waver on. I'm not gonna change them. The things that matter to me, like my privacy, my peace, my vote, my level of BS that I will accept and not accept. And if you don't have a level of BS meter that works well and is well-tuned, then you may fall for anything. And you falling for anything will result in loss of said cornbread.
Nobody take no cornbread from me.
I believe nobody takes no cornbread from me. I'm not going to let go of my privacy. I'm going to fight for it. I'm not going to let go of my vote. I'm going to fight for it. Or my ability to gather information and make informed decisions. And also to hold positions on issues that you say are unfavorable or you don't like them. Hey, man, you can kiss my white ass. I can make up my own mind. But there's some people who frankly just don't want to fight for it enough. And when you don't fight for it enough, all that happens is they just circle back around and they say, hey, maybe I ought to eat your cornbread. They look at you, they want to take your cornbread because you have now shown that you are not willing to fight for it. You're willing to buy into identity politics. People bragging, I went to Standing Rock. Yeah, okay, great. If you present that as anything other than the humble privilege that it was to be forever changed by an experience by these people that you only documented, then you totally missed the boat. And that type of attitude is exactly what people of color, whether they be indigenous, whether they be black or Latino, whoever they are, just by my experience as being a person of color, your attitude is the kind of attitude that we detest. And frankly, is what creates separation Because anybody who comes to an issue looking for credit for being there, as if that is a badge that can be wielded over our heads somehow to give you something, well, that's a person doing it for the wrong reason. Also an issue of character. So when we look at each other and we don't see each other as equals, when we look down on each other, when we treat each other badly for reasons that are not above board, what we are really doing is we're really setting ourselves up to be divided. I don't want us divided. Hey, look, I want us to come together, but hey, I got lines in the sand, bruh. Sister, I have lines in the sand. I have to have a certain level of BS I will not accept. Because where I come from, if you do not have a certain level of BS that you will accept, people will give it to you every day, 6 days a week, twice on Sunday, always on time. And if you don't stand for something, well, hell, you know the saying.
There's going to be consequences and repercussions.
There's going to be consequences and repercussions, man. I love you guys. I'm Tim Black. I see you on the next one. Shout out to everybody in my chat room, everybody who called up. It's much love to you. I want you to have the best weekend possible. I want you to kill it, right? I want you to explore. I want you to tell somebody you love them, hug somebody, and I want you to tune into the revolution because it will be televised only by independent media. No corporations want you to know the stuff we talk about here. Do you realize that? If they wanted you to know the stuff we talk about here, they'd be airing it. And they aren't. So keep your eyes glued, your ears open. I see you on the next one. Shout out to Bob TV, Zach Haller, H.A. Goodman, Debbie Lou Signan, Claudia Stauber, Nico House, Ed Higgins. I just needed Michael Trim, all these people, man. Holly, Zoo Politics, Zone Politico, Zone Politicking. Go check out the Center for Progressive Politics. Also check out Vanguard of the Revolution about the Black Panthers and Fred Hampton. That pisses me off even when I think about it. Also, I want to look up the Rational Wiki. The Rational Wiki that shows that the Young Turks Wolfpack, not the Tim Black Wolfpack, that 58% of the monies collected goes to their salaries. I'd like to dig into that a little bit deeper. I'll see you guys on the next one. Until we meet again, peace to you, peace and revolution and solidarity to you. And thank you for everybody who donated to this show. And those people are
Tim Black,
my freaking super chat
Tim
people
Black.
in the house.
Yes, I am.
Super chat people, Trudy Caswell, Jenny Lynn. Some names disappeared. There were some people up here, man. I just got caught up on phone calls, man. Anybody who contributed via super chat, I want to thank you so much for contributing. I appreciate you. We got to find another way because they take 30% of that. I hate the fact they take so much of that. But you know what? It's convenient. It's easy. PayPal, they only take like 1%. So if you want to give to the show, we're going to have to start freezing YouTube out because they just take too much. I didn't know that, but they do. Much love to you. I appreciate you. Clap it up and music it up.
Tim Black. Tim Black. Tim Black. Yes, I am. Truth. Funny.
Matthew Bondvillain.
I am TimBlack.com. Tim Black.
You know it. Booyah.